April 14th, 2018. Last night was a late night of working, but we got most of the rest of our dam back together. We got our new overflow pipe in place, and I left it filling overnight, and so we're going to open it up and have a look, see how it flows. This is actually my first test, so hopefully we got enough support to carry the weight and it won't collapse. I think we'll be okay. So you can see our overflow pipe carries all our overflow water away from the dam so it doesn't erode the dam anymore. This overflow pipe here will be coming out. I'll be filling that in. I'll probably put a secondary overflow pipe in there as a high limit, as a backup, in case this one clogs, so that we don't have dam erosion. And then I'm going to go over in here. There's a low spot in there. I'll be patching that in a little bit so we have a good solid dam that doesn't leak. That way we don't have the dam eroding itself out. So it looks like our overflow is cruising, putting out a lot of water. So that's working good. Ram pump is working solid. Delivering a little more water than it was now that we got our supply line set up better and better flow down our supply. You'll notice I lowered on that post too, coming down. That'll leave me the elevation that I need, because I want to add a bridge to get the lawn tractor and dump cart down in here so I can get to firewood in the fall or later in the season. So now that this is lower, I'll be able to bridge from up there down to the hard point here and land, and then there'll be a small tractor roadway going through here so we can get to all the firewood. You can see there's lots of down trees here. That's a nice big maple right there that's down that I wished I could have got to last year. And there's lots of other trees down in this area that once I can get the machine down in here, I'll be able to get them, and I won't have to carry them out by hand. As John Denner used to say, John Denner used to own a gravel bank next to my parents' house. When I was a kid, I used to go over there every morning and hang out and watch the big machines run and talk to him. And he'd usually take me out for breakfast. He's a really nice guy. But he had a couple of good sayings on his gravel bank. Number one was, one hand washes the other. In other words, you always set a task up so that each task feeds to help another task. And his other favorite saying was, get the machine to move the materials. In other words, don't be lifting stuff if the machine can lift it for you. So those are two good principles to live by, and those have stuck with me all my life. So R.I.P. John Denner. So anyway, the ram pump is running much more solid now. I think you can hear the difference. You can hear the difference in it. And what I'll do is I'll grab a chunk of the video from before I had the supply line straightened out, and I'll put that in a video overlay, or just a clip maybe, so you can hear before the supply line corrections and after, and you'll notice there's a massive difference. There's also a massive difference in water delivery up top. I'll get a clip of that when I go back up top. You'll notice I'm not running any of the weights on the valve right now. One of the things I want to do today, if I get time, is mess around now that we have a good water supply and changing the weights and seeing how that affects our water volume delivery up top. That takes some time though, because it's about 1,000 feet from here to the top. So every time I make a change, to go see what the change is, I have to go 1,000 feet up and 1,000 feet back. So it's about a half-mile round trip every time. So it takes a little time to do that. But you can see we're solid. I also went through here last night while I had the water shut off, and I excavated out this channel here. So there's a nice deep channel, and I came right down through here and out over to here. And I'll be putting some pallets or logs or something in here so there's a platform to stand on to access the pump, so you don't have to step in mud to work on it, because that gets old. Also, right here, I'll be putting a small bridge deck here, also for the lawnmower setup and for foot traffic, so you can get to that side and get the things over there. So lots of little improvements coming as well. For now, I just wanted to show the update, and I wanted you to be able to hear the difference in the system. And I guess what I'll do, just to show how much more water volume we have now, I'll open this up and let you see. How fast that water comes out. You can see, even with that bucket with that big hole in the side, it fills the bucket in about, what, 5-6 seconds, and goes right to overflow. So we have massive, massive water flow potential now. And that means we can make adjustments, like the adjustments I was talking about with putting weights on the valves. When you put weights on the valve, like a foot valve like this, you make the valve take longer before it kicks up, so that makes for a longer stroke. If you make a longer stroke, you have a chance for the water's velocity to increase to a faster speed. When you increase the velocity of the water, when that valve hits its shut point, that velocity is transferred and ends up in delivering more water on your delivery side, for obvious reasons, because you'll have higher pressure from higher velocity. So that'll improve our water delivery. I'm thinking possibly with the new setup now, I might be able to touch 1 gallon a minute up top. Typically I can do about 3/4 of a gallon a minute. I think the highest I rated last summer was 0.88 gallons a minute, which is pretty close to 1. I would like to see 1 or greater with the new improvements, but we'll see what it does. Beyond setting the thrust block up like this and correcting our water supply and that sort of thing, the only other thing I can really do to improve efficiency of the pump would be to change this drive pipe over to steel pipe. And I think I've mentioned before in other videos that's expensive. I think it's about 200 bucks in steel pipe to do that. So that probably will not come till either later in the season or maybe even next year. But that is something I plan to do eventually. Anyway, I just thought I would share some of the updates, let you get a look at what things look like now. And if you have any questions or comments, please ask them below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching the Pharmacy Seeds Network. Well, I did promise a clip of the water delivery. You can see there's actually a pretty solid stream coming out of there now. Easiest way to find out what your volume is, measure it over time. I think we're closing on 15-second quarts, which would be about 1 gallon a minute. So I'm going to time that when I download this. And then we'll have a better idea. I have to say, by the way, with the sun out, that water's coming out fairly warm. It's warming up nice on its way up. It is not warm coming out of that spring. I think it's about 38 degrees. Anyway, just thought I would include this quick clip because I did promise it to you. Thanks for watching the Pharmacy Seeds Network.